So if you're using our course, this is just going to be another one of those videos where I talk about a specific plugin, right? And these are going to be one of the 8 plugins that I installed previously that I said were the top 8 plugins that every new WordPress website should install, right? And we talked about them very briefly, but I ran out of time and I wanted to talk about some of the more time-intensive ones in more detail, right? And so we already talked previously about iTheme Security, Jetpack, and I believe Ninja Form. So this one we're going to be talking about Mailchimp for WordPress Lite. And so in our course, we're also going to double this as, how do you, since we're already talking about it, how do you add an email newsletter service, right? And so right off the bat, I think you can already tell that the email newsletter service we're going to be using is Mailchimp. And the reason why we're going to be utilizing this is simply because it's free for the first 2,000 emails. I think that functionally or functionality wise, it's great already. When you compare it to things like Aweber, pretty much the same. The only thing is Aweber charged straight off the bat versus Mailchimp. It allows you to have 2,000 emails for free, and I think that for a lot of websites that'll be enough. Eventually, once you get past that threshold, well, then you kind of have to think of other options of what would be the best for you, which one will be the most economical, because after you pass 2,000, it does jump up quite high. It goes all the way to, I think, $60, right? So for us, we use Mailchimp, and what we're gonna do is we're going to all I did is created a new list, and you just go into list, add new, fill out. All you have to fill out is the email and kind of the message that it says, right? So now we have this test WP for All TV Mailchimp, right? And so now that we have signed up, so we signed up for Mailchimp and we just made one list. That's all we did. Very simple. I don't want to kind of waste time explaining what it is. All we're going to do is get your API key here. And so it's going to give us some type of API key, and we're just going to paste it back into that place. And I already went ahead and did that, but I just want to show you very quickly where is this API key and what is it all about. So your API keys, you have a bunch of them. You can disable them. You can create a new key, things like that. You just copy and paste it back into this Mailchimp API key. And so once you save the changes, it should refresh and show the list that you have, and you should only have one, and probably it's just going to say 0 subscribers. It's going to say email, first name and last name. Done. That's it, right? And so what we're going to do now is we're going to go into our checkboxes. We're going to go into checkboxes, and so that's already all we need to do. That's all we need to do for the settings. It's already done for us. And so when we go into the Mailchimp settings for checkboxes, this is what I mentioned before, is that we provide this added functionality, and this is on the website. This is the sample website that we've been making for a period of time. It has this option, sign me up for the newsletter. And since I'm already logged in, it doesn't show that you have the name, email, forms or fields that you need to fill out because I'm already logged in. So if I were to log out, you would be able to see that. And so the benefit of this, in my opinion, is that when an individual signs up or is going to comment, right? They already have filled out the email. Might as well ask them, do you want to sign up for the newsletter, right? Might as well just ask them, have that checkbox right there for them, and it's very quick for them. So that's one thing that I really like about this specific plugin. So that's why I had you guys install it, because there are many different Mailchimp or email newsletter, I would say. Not too many Mailchimp, but yeah, email newsletter. Double opt-in, just all that is it. When they do click that yes, they want to sign up for your newsletter, well, now it'll ask them, it'll send them an email and say, do you really want to sign up, and just confirm your email address. And so it is recommended to do that, and it'll just cut back on the individuals who don't really care about signing up for your newsletter. So you can add the checkbox to wherever you want, either in the comment form or a registration form. I just put it in the comment form for now. You can put it in registration as well. And you just sign them up for the newsletter, and you can pre-check or don't pre-check it, and you just save the changes. And let's check in the forms. I can't remember offhand if there's actually some extra settings that we need to change here. Okay, yeah, so we have to list that the form subscribes to is your test. The form for you guys, you just have one, but I was testing out with another list that I had. And you're just going to click email address, because that's all we really need. We don't need anything more than that. We just need the email address for the field to be set. That's all we really need. We just need the email. That's the only thing that's important for us. And so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go into our widgets, right? Because ultimately we want, so when we go onto our website, we'll see that the checkboxes would take care of this bottom thing right there, right? But ultimately we're going to be wanting our newsletter to show up as a widget somewhere, right? Probably right in our sidebar. So we're just going to go into widgets, and we'll see that there's this Mailchimp sign up form. We're just going to drag it and drop it in here. And there's really no options. You're just going to save it. And so once you save it, you should see that when you refresh the website, you should see that the newsletter will show up. And you have a couple different well, you have one option actually. You just say what the title is. What do you want them to say? Do you want them to say, you get a special deal, you get an ebook or something like that? You can say it right there, or just stay updated, something like that. Right, so as you can see, it's quite useful. It'll automatically update everything for you, which I do really like. I really like that option that it has. And so they do have a pro version. I'm not entirely sure offhand what was in that pro version, but probably just additional functionality. But what I did want to show you is this right here. So this is a shortcode. So it's a shortcode, so you can imagine that most of these sign-up forms or widgets only are found on widgets, right? They're only found in this widget section. But let's say we wanted to put it right in here. And you can imagine, well, why would you ever want to put a sign-up form right in the middle of a post? Well, you can think of one place that would be very useful is your about page, right? If you have an about page and you're describing yourself, and you eventually at the end of it you want to say, well, you want to stay updated with me, then you can sign up for the email listserv, right? They can go ahead and do that, right? And so yeah, you could have it in the sidebar as well, but just having it as well somewhere on the page would also be useful. Okay, so all we're going to do is once this loads up, we're just going to add the shortcode right here. So I copied it, and we're just going to paste it. Remember though, don't paste it in text, because sometimes, not always, it doesn't show up the exact same way, right? Because these brackets are kind of unique. So we're just going to update it, and we're going to see what our website looks like after it's loaded, right? So we should see sign up for the newsletter option for them to kind of exactly what it is, sign up for the newsletter, right? But it'll be on the actual post, and if it's in the widget, yeah, that's fine, but it'll actually be within the post, right? So you can put whatever text you want above it, stay up to date with me, and then they can just sign up right there. And that's one thing that makes this plugin very unique, is that most of these plugins you'll have to put the actual embed code. It doesn't generally look that nice. It doesn't kind of match everything. Or you have to add another plugin to put widgets on pages, things like that. So in my opinion, that's what makes this very unique, what it makes it very beneficial.